Hey guys, welcome back. And in this session, we'll focus on reserved words in COBOL. So by definition, a reserved word is a character string with a predefined meaning in a COBOL source unit. They are basically divided into 6 different categories. First one is keywords, second one is optional word, third one is figurative constant, fourth one is special character words, fifth is special object identifiers, and the last one is special registers. But we will be focusing on first 3 important reserved words. So first one is keyword, second one is optional words, third one is figurative constants. Now let's talk about keywords. So keywords are reserved words that are required within a given clause, entry, or a statement. And within each format, such words appear in uppercase on the main path. Here are some examples of keyword. However, the list of reserved keyword is quite lengthy. So first one is add, which is generally used to add 2 or more variables as per your requirement. Thereafter you have delete, which is used to delete a record from a file. Thereafter you have search, which is used to search any specific value in an array or a table. Thereafter you have read and write, which is generally used to read data from the file or write a record to your flat file or maybe to your vsam files. Similarly, you have call, which is actually used to call any subprogram from your main program. Now let me showcase how exactly you can use these keywords along with other optional parameter to write your business logic. In the following example, you have procedure division, which is actually used to specify your business logic. So in this case, we have a paragraph that is 0030-read-tremp, and it is actually reading data from a sequential file. And to read data, I've used the read statement. And in this case, if you notice, read is actually a keyword. In second statement, move is a keyword. And in second statement, I'm assigning value y to end of file variable. And if you notice the last statement, I'm actually incrementing the counter by 1 whenever record is read successfully from the file. So in this case, add is a keyword, right? So at this point, only remember that these are the important keywords and they have a specific meaning in your COBOL program. And with the help of these keywords, you form syntax, and with the help of those syntax, you form your business logic. Now let's talk about the optional words in COBOL. So by definition, optional words are reserved words that can be included in the format of a clause, entry, or a statement in order to improve the readability of the code. They have no effect on the execution of the program. And a quick example of optional words are giving, round off, after, and there are many more, right? And if you look at the example, similarly, we have used the procedure division to specify our business logic. And if you look at the statement, we are using add bonus to employee salary, giving EMP sal. So in this case, giving is actually an optional word. You can write this statement with the help of compute statement also. Similarly, if you look at the perform statement, so in this case, after is an optional keyword. So as of now, just remember that these are optional keywords which is used to improve the readability of the code, and they do not have any effect on the execution of the program. Now let's talk about constant and figurative constant in COBOL and try to understand what is the basic difference between these 2 different categories of constant. So let's talk about constant first. So a constant is a data item that has only one value throughout the execution of the program. So in the following example, I've defined 2 different variables that I'll be treating as a constant. So the first variable is department name and the second variable is mortgage interest rate. And if you notice, I've defined these 2 variables in a working storage section. The initial value of these fields is assigned with the help of value clause. And if you notice, for the department, I've assigned computers department, and for mortgage, I've assigned a value that is 1.0265. So throughout the program, I would be using these two variables, that is department name or mortgage interest rate, wherever I need the value of these variables in my business logic. Now let's move on to our next category, that is figurative constant. So by definition, figurative constants are the reserved words that name and refer to a specific constant values. So here's a list of figurative constants that you can use in your COBOL program while writing your business logic. So first one is zero, then you have zeros, which is actually a different variant of zero. Thereafter you have space, spaces, high value, low value, quotes, null, and all. There are a couple of more variants of these existing figurative constant. So in the following example, I've used three different variables that I've defined in the working storage section. And these different variables I'll be using as a temporary variables. I will not be using as a constant variable the way I've used in my previous example. So in this case, first one is department name, second one is mortgage interest rate, and third one is employee number. And the initial value of all these variables is assigned with the help of value clause and figurative constant. So for example, in case of department name, which is X of 30, that is alphanumeric. So what I've done is I've used a value clause along with spaces. So spaces is a figurative constant, and what will happen when you run this program? So this particular variable, that is department name, is filled with all spaces. So that means all 30 bytes will be having spaces as an initial value. And you can very well override the value of department name in your program during the execution. Similarly, you have mortgage interest rate variable. So in this case, I've used figurative constant as zeros. So that means that all the bytes, that is 5 bytes, will be filled with zeros. And for the last field, that is employee number, I've used figurative constant 0. So that means my employee number will have 0 as an initial value. And similarly, you can use other figurative constant to initialize these variables with a specific values. For example, high value, low value, quotes. So these are a couple of important figurative constant that you'll be using in your COBOL programs. And we're going to showcase how you can use these variables in our coming lectures. Lastly, to keep your code simple and consistent, it is always recommended that you use singular form of figurative constant, that is zero, space, quotes, high value and low value. So till now, if you have any question, then do let me know. Otherwise, let's move on to our next lecture.